Okay, setting proper motivation, victory points, refuge field, Bodhichitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field, visualize His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Buddha Shakyamuni, and all the source of the enlightened masters who serve as an inspiration for our cultivating the universal compassion and the wisdom of interdependency and emptiness. And that too, that they are so loving, caring, and embracing. Bodhichitta field, visualize your two grandparents and all your family members, including children and all other constituents, the human beings, animals, insects, animals, garden goddesses, spirits, and so forth. All the beings here in Dharamshala and in India, in your own country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken our hidden treasure within us. And given that it's hidden, it is obscured by the mental developments. And how to awaken this is by resorting to a very powerful remedy to overcome these mental developments. And the ultimate remedy lies in wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom must be supported. This wisdom is known as the only liberating path, and it must be supported by the motivation of Bodhichitta in order to eradicate all the mental developments. And this Bodhichitta must rest on the foundation of renunciation, feeling the pain from yourself and desiring to get rid of this pain, which is referred to as the renunciation. So with this in mind, let's imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joiners. I request that this is all to do this.
With this great compassion, you taught me not to be darkness, to stop all the fears, fear and God. With this great compassion, you taught me not to be darkness, to stop all the fears, fear and God. With this great compassion, you taught me not to be darkness, to stop all the fears, fear and God. With the refuge and joy of Bodhichitta. Sangye Chula Tari
Shalom, Shandu Bhaktu Tane Devsuji Yoga Mandi Sanje Tutora Sangye Chula Soke Chula Shandu Bhaktu Tane Devsuji Tage Shinso Kebe Sonam Yoga Benjire Sanje Tutora Shu
Sangye Chula
Soge Jona Noi Chanju Patu Tane Gyatsu Che Dage Jinso Keke Sonamge Tona Beje Sanje Kupara Sho.
I go for refuge until I am mighty to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulation to the practice of giving and service, may I remain on the all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am mighty to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulation to the practice of giving and service, may I remain on the all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am mighty to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulation to the practice of giving and service, may I be promoted into the all sentient beings. In definitive origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no evolution, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one on top of the peace, which is true to all relations. I prostrate to the knowledge of the spheres, Bodhisattvas and Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead to receive pacification to complete peace. Which through the knowledge of habits called the third fucking life, which she things of the world, the possessions of which are the without a variety of conditions. Allow the bliss transformed into the delight of life, motivated by conscious and social things. The teachers who are protected to and constitutions. One who has eliminated developed conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the past and the now. Who eternally shines forth the fervor of the light, cheered at the depths of many frustrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of the awakening for the benefit of all such beings. The essence of the effective communication of meaning of the control all phenomena arise from the causes. The causes are taught and taught about them. The spatial causes of darkness profound, peaceful, vibration-free, electromagnetic causes. Such is the mental and dharma of discovery. And we know what to practice in silence and one time to peace. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unused, and has the nature of spirits. It is the object of apprehension of self-realization. To the level of the Buddha's complete understanding. The force fields of the Buddha's teaching. All compulsive things are removed. All contaminated things are the nature of self. All phenomena are the nature of happiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Buddha is the Buddha, the Buddha is the Dharma, and Christ is the Sangha. The Buddha is the source of every person, and no one is. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, we liberate all things and mysteries, and we teach you behind the way of the teachings, at the end of the experiment. The Buddha does not watch the negativity of things, nor does he remove their mysteries by his hand. His spiritual realizations are not trustworthy to them. It is by teaching the truth to suchness and beauties of the Buddha. Whose golden hands I speak the Buddhas from all directions, to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddhas and truths of the world. Instructions are the burden for attachments. If you are attached to this life, you will have a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you will have a renunciation. If you are attached to your own sort of riches, you have no bodhichitta. If there is grasping, you do not have it. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one God beyond, the lotus strider, completely perfected, completely awakened, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to the day, teacher of gods and human beings, you are completely and fully awakened, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the superior of the Shakyamuni. I prostrate me offerings to the refuge. When, those of the multitudes, you were born in this earth, you placed out 7 triumphs and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise and prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, with the ocean like a golden mountain. Fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, bring out the dice, over to you I prostrate. With the supreme silence, faced like the spotless moon, colored like gold to you I prostrate. Those free like you, three worlds alone. You the parallel lights when tea like astray. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding. The field of merit is always the satisfaction. You, the Catarata of justice. The purity and freedom of attachment. The virtue and freedom of the the one path is the line through reality to the Dharma that explains the posture. The movement of liberated also show the path to liberation. The holy field followed by the realizations. We're devoted to the moral precepts, the continuous sparkle of posture. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. The star of digital adoration, a flame of the light, a vision, a drop of dew before the love, a dream, a flash of light, seeing what you things as such. Do these merits and essential things that take away all sin, because you know all, and be delivered from the sorrows which return by the ways of these things. Page 29. Dharamshala, the perfection of the Sutra. I concentrate to the art of the Buddha. Thus did I hear at once. The Buddha was dwelling on vast adventures mountain and Kashmir, together with a great community of monks and a great community of Buddhists. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in concentration on the categories of phenomena of life and creation. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva looked upon the very practices of the profound education of wisdom. It was those five factors also asserted in meditation. Then is the power of the Buddha, and which shall be confessed, that is the Bodhisattva Mahāyāna. How should any child who chooses to practice the activity of profound reflection of wisdom today? We see that the Bodhisattva Mahāyāna that this is the Buddha shall be Church will direct any son of the future father. He chooses to practice the activity without reflection. Should look upon the evidence, the clarity and utility of holding close by actions, also effective. Following empty and emptiness of all, emptiness without other people, following the also not other emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, opposition, or sound consciousness are empty. Shared which are likewise all phenomena without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without state, not tradition, not food. Shared which are therefore introduced to some form of feeling, discrimination, no opposition factors, no consciousness, no I, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch. There is no I of it, no there is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance. It's all altruism, including no extinction of that, and no extinction of that. Similarly, there is no suffering, which is cessation of law. There is no exalted wisdom, no experience of all knowledge. Sharing which are therefore is the responsibility. But it's not that the mind of love, reflection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and fear. Having completely passed beyond fear, which is the end line of the all the Buddhas who learn 3 times also manifest completely awakened, unsurpassable, perfect, completely content, relaxed, and perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that truly satisfies all suffering, should be known as true, sincerely powerful. The mantra of perfection seems to carrot. Sharing the trail, the Bodhisattva Mahāyāna, retreated in profound reflection of his life. Then the Buddha emerges from that concentration, and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahāyāna to teach us. God said, son of the village, it is like a fact, it is like a fact. One should practice the profound reflection of just as we have commanded. Even the Tathagata rejoices. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Geshe-la, the Bodhisattva Mahāyāna, Those surrounding their entirety along with the field of powers, humans and sons of animals, were overjoyed and highly praised the gospel of God. This completes the article of the Kaya Kaya Gati Gati Aragati Arasangati Isva Om 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 Gati Gati Aragati Arasangati Bodhichitta. By the teachings of the three supreme truths possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer universes be transformed. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. From powerful conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be rewarded with the Dharma. May all consciousness and perfect happiness pervade this space. Page 35. Eight verses for training the mind and Geshe-la. With the determination to achieve the highest good, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses the evil wishes of nature, may I welcome to the world. Whenever I interact with someone, may I remove myself from the lust of my soul, and from the very depths of my heart, respect the equal class of superior. May all my days pray open to my heart, and as the things that my temple relations of desires, as they endanger myself by others, as I know me from the good when I see things of unpleasant character, and those with prospects for obligated to the suffering, may all my dear as if I have separation tradition. When others are to receive to keep along with the belief that comes to my home, may I take upon myself the deceit and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or whom I have received towards, mischief is extremely helpful ways, that may arise to the compassion teacher. And briefly, may I offer the joy to all my members of the directly of ignorance. May I find to hear myself all those things with my members. May all this remain undivided by the state of the reading of the sense, and may I write excellent policies and solutions to further communicate these to the waters. Donuts and copies, long-range education, and verse 1. From my two collections of glasses, space, and the masks, working with practice of great example. May I become achieving all those whose minds is not by the big. Page 37, 7-minute practice. Answer the meeting of prayers and extraordinary aspiration and practice of spiritual doctrine. I bow down to the beautiful art and institution. You, the Buddha, the wise of my experience, God to begin with the blessed house of H.H. In the rose of 10 directions, to all of you, the wise institutions of your mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, with his many bodies as eyes of the world, to all you who visualize this real on behalf of the Bible, each and every force of flesh, and I am honored with the spirit of all of them
is entirely with the infinite praise
and oceans found in the aspects of my voice,
and seeing that by taking essence of goodness, says that we always be flowers, with flowers and big flowers, with wings and legs and the doors of the house, sparkling lights of wine incense, outwardly with fragrance of flowers.
Five dust
And fragrant perfumes, scented
found
with
the
water,
flower he has known.
all
All
wonders
wonders
of
of
the
the
inspected with,
found you.
the chosen and always peerless of the past, with profound admiration for all who do this, with the strength of conviction in the words of the way, I offer it now unto all to his wants. Every action I have done, with my body's speech and heart, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and goodness, all these that I will put in there for you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all merits, of the Buddhas of the successive interactions, of solitary analysis, here still flowing,
And of all ordinary
Jesus.
You are the bright lights of the world's interactions.
who
When the day of Buddha's associations through the stages of great, all in you are guides,
these times of pain will die. When
it
the
bonds
bonds
together
together
as
as
a
a
single
single
vessel. You may actualize the body of love.
they stay with us for
the
aims,
numbers times of the world, and the happiness and well-being of all wonders and samsara. Whenever somebody bears the name of his name, I make any prostrations of offering and confessing, rejoicing in the strength of the I now let you all this
for the waiting all days.
Page 40.
Mental offering, short mental offering. First, we'll say this in English, followed by the chanting Tibet. This ground, adorned with perfumes, filled with flowers, adorned with mocktail, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this is the Buddha taking over it. The all sentient beings enjoy this moment. Oh, For the almost may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices in the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. And may I be blessed that the flaws of sin be like the result of wisdom. The four Dhammas of Bhikshu Mahāsana, becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasp into existence. Please bless me with general renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious Bodhichitta and cherish others more than myself. Please bless me with having an accurate experience of the wisdom that enters does not see even the atoms of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come to being by depending on condition to being conditioned. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. The foundation of all good qualities, the elements of Papa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind of perfect pure flow. Correct devotion to Him is the root of Papa. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon with great respect. Understanding that the present freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the one thereof, ceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly decades and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtues and non-virtues come as well. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me to always be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them to draw to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great ocean advice. The root of the teaching is keeping the breath of moksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I am fallen in sea of samsara, so fall Mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this twin supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility for migratory beings. Even if I have developed bodhicitta, but I to practice 3 types of morality, I not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Buddhist vows of great energy. Once I pass by distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate clearly within my mind spring the unified path of common mind, especially inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the Bodhi gate with the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajrayana. At that time, the basis of accomplishing pure attainments is keeping pure vows in Samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pleasure throughout my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, as in Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Buddha. Like that, may the Gurus who showed me the path and especially friends who practice the long lives, please bless me to pacify completely while out and in hindrances. In all my life is never separated from perfect Gurus, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stations in the paths, tranquility and wisdom of Vajrayana. Okay, for this, needs and not less. Just 2 months a couple of in English, for by Tibet. You are the Devadeshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and magician master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, so close the demons without exception, so Prabha crown through of the sage of leopard snows, was not taught by 8 feet and in prostrations. Lord of the Bodhichitta, great treasure of non-reference compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapati, is of opposed the demons without exception. Sankapa, crowned with the station for reverence, those on top of it feeling and frustrations. Okay, this and time, thank you. So now we have generating the life content yoga. Okay, for generating non-consummate yoga, 4 points to keep in mind. So what we did till the point we started the foundation for the qualities is the preliminary practice. And the foundation of all the qualities is like the roadmap after the preparation. Then we have to walk along the path of enlightenment. For that we require the roadmap. Foundation of all the qualities is the roadmap. So with the roadmap, now we have to walk. What should we do? Primarily these 4 things. What are we doing? Shamatha practice, renunciation, Bodhichitta, wisdom entries, and then take the aspiration Bodhichitta power. Okay, so with this first 5 minutes of the shamatha meditation to build a stability of our practice. Okay, 5 minutes. So meanwhile, given that there are a number of us who are new, it's very important for us to take note of with the body posture. One is the body upright. Our body should not, you shouldn't bend your back and don't lean against the support unless you have baggage problem. And you can sit in chair, you can sit, but not too soft on the body sofas. It should be, it should not be too hard, should not be too soft. For example, if you look at his holinesses, usually his holiness way, you won't believe his holiness meditation, the room is very simple. It's no extravagance, nothing. So simple, but very practical. The cushion on which his one sits. So usually for teaching purpose and so forth, he sits on the throne. Otherwise, in his own meditation room, it's just a very simple on the ground, like what we have. Simple mattress. He does not assume as a king of Tibet. Nothing, it's just very simple. And then, but very practical. The cushion is not too soft, it's not too hot. So because if it's too soft, it's very strange. It will make a mind instantly go into laxity, meaning inactivity. One become very passive and feels like sleeping. Then if it's too hard, your legs, you will start to have to bleed in very quickly. So we really need to know what should be like the mattress, the softness. Then the next is then eyes not closed. Eyes not closed, eyes half open. And initially it's difficult. It's difficult because at the moment you keep your eyes open, you start to see what's around you. Your mind doesn't really meditate. This is the initial experience. But in the long run, it's very helpful. And with eyes closed, initially it's very healing, soothing. And long run is very dangerous. Okay, dangerous. This is what I'm using. Dangerous, long run. And then for those who started with eyes open, over time, through your own experience, once you become good at it, being able to separate eye consciousness and mental consciousness, separate the two with eyes open, wider open, still your mind can do whatever meditation that you like because of the practice with eyes open. Whereas if you do the meditation always with eyes closed, and the problem is that with your eyes open, you cannot meditate. So there's a problem. And also that, and there are many other problems. So what we should be doing is that we will meditate, we learn how to do that with eyes half open, just 4 or 5 cast down, which is a little difficult. So there's eye consciousness and mental consciousness there too. And what meditates is your mental consciousness, is not eye consciousness. But your mental consciousness tends to follow eye consciousness. So when the eyes are open, the mental consciousness chases the eye consciousness and then it cannot really meditate. So gradually you will be able to separate the two. For example, like I cast my eyes on you, but my mind can meditate with something else. So this is something that we can learn. This is very important and the thing to learn. So then for the body posture, these two things. One is the body applied, meanwhile body flexible. And the other one is the eyes not closed, eyes half open. These are the two things for the body posture and very important. Next is for the focal point is fine. Whatever you do, 2 things, 1 thing, whichever is up to you. Breathe in, count the breath, breathe in, breathe out 1 cycle, breathe in, breathe out cycle 2. You can do it like when you do that on your own. Don't do it for too long. For some people say, how long do you meditate? Oh, half an hour, 1 hour. No, it's not a good idea. So always begin with the short sessions, more sessions. These are the instructions from the masters, meditation masters. Always start with a short session, but more sessions initially. Then later on, as you become good at it, then the longer sessions and less number of sessions. This is what we need to find. Then the alongside the count of breath, so 1.5, what is that? 21 cycles of breathing in and out. It will be like 1.5 minutes. And then you can do it for like 1 cycle is give a short break, again 21 cycles, give a short break, again 21 cycles, do it for like 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. Just keep doing this, though you're so excited, you are so happy, there's so much lightness being felt, but don't try to be too excited. You must contain the excitement also. To make sure that when you say, okay, 3 sessions, make 3 sessions. Don't make it like, okay, 1 session with 21 cycles, give it 21 cycles. Don't make it like 100 cycles. Don't be too excited. If you are too excited initially, this is an indication that the great masters say, this is an indication that you will stop the process again. So alongside, if you want to do this visualization of the tiny dot with nose after the head, do that. So 2 together will be very helpful. Initially, it's going to be very tough, but keep doing it, it will be easier. And for all, say 1 out of 100 people, you may find it difficult managing with 2. Even after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If that is a difficulty, then you can choose 1. You may not go for 2. You can choose 1. Okay. Then the number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation. What mistakes can be made? 2 mistakes. One is inactivity of the mind, which is laxity, and overactivity of the mind, which is excitement. These are 2 mistakes that you can make, or your mind can easily fall prey to. If it does happen, no need to worry. Go for number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. And the remedies are twofold. Number 1 is introspection, and the other one is mindfulness. Introspection is to keep an eye on the mind to see what your mind is doing, whether it is meditating, or it's sleeping, or it is in relaxed state, or is excited, scattered. If you do see that these 2 things are happening, then you have to apply the mindfulness. Mindfulness is the rope to tie the mind back to the intent of meditation. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next, renunciation based on the practice of four seals. For the practice of renunciation, there are many traditions, and all are based on the Buddha's own teachings of the four seals. So we directly jump to the four seals, which is taught by the Buddha himself. Okay, so this, in fact, yesterday what I mentioned is that today we'll try without giving any instructions. So if you can do it on your own, what we do is that first I just explain, identify what the renunciation is. Then as we move to each of these four lines, all come the same permanent. I say this line, we'll keep it short, like 2 minutes, and you keep contemplating because certain so forth. See how much you can do that. So that way, tomorrow when you do guided, then you will see that your mind will grab at the points. Otherwise, we think that it's not really sure, and you don't know whether you are really meditating or not, and it can become a very bad habit. Okay, so make sure that your mind is actively meditating. This is known as analytical meditation. Try our best. So this is how we will. Are you ready? Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce the miseries. It is not to renounce happiness, but at times, when you go through for a really good, sometimes you have to sacrifice happiness. First, like with surgery. Nobody wants to go through surgery, but for good, for the long-term good, sometimes we have to go through surgery to stop for example, the renounce happiness, sometimes to stop the craving, which is happiness is not a problem, the craving is a problem. So happiness temporarily, we try to stay away to stop this craving. And once the craving is gone, the happiness is not an issue. So with this in mind, renunciation is to renounce the miseries. And to renounce the miseries, we need to know the causes of the miseries, which the Buddha indicated, Dharma Hetu Prabhu. All these phenomena are process. And what the causes are is taught by the Tathagata, the Buddha, which Arinagachanan explained in great detail in the most classic text, Moon Madhyamika Karika, the Fundamentalism, where he said, chapter 18, verse 5, where he said, ceasing karma's afflictions is nirvana. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptualization of inadequate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And this elaboration ceases through the wisdom factors, or ceases into the wisdom factors. So to eradicate the cause of miseries, the Buddha identified the ultimate root, the root of miseries is identified as ignorance. And from ignorance, again, there have been layers of the taught, and bringing the fourth to the taught. To counteract these four kinds of ignorance, the four seals, the first seal, all composite things are important. So as a rule, from the first, we're going to move to the second. No need to rush, just no need to jump directly, rush the jump, but what the body doing, and then slowly move to the next. All composite things are important. all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Next, this suffering nature, three kinds of suffering. I'm very tired. I'm tired going through these three kinds of suffering. Since time immemorial till today, and will keep going like this. In this time, 2024 started on its own. And when will these stop? They will never stop until we put a concerted effort or conscious effort. What kind? Because there are three kinds of impermanence. One whose continuum invariably stops, like 2024. One whose continuum never stops, although being impermanent, still the continuum never stops, just like your mind, the time, and so forth. And there's a third category of impermanence, whose continuum will never stop until we put a conscious effort. We put this effort and it can be stopped. If you don't put this effort, it will never stop. It keeps perpetuating. Okay, so what kind of effort is required? So for that, we need to identify the root of the problem, root of these tears, and then see how to tackle this root. As long as we don't tackle the root, there's no point. So the root, the Buddha hand was identified as the ignorance, particularly self-grasping ignorance, viewing things as objectively real. So how do we tackle this? By introducing a very powerful morality, which is directly in opposition with this ignorance pertaining to the object apprehension. So what is this wisdom? The wisdom of emptiness. And what is the wisdom per se? Wisdom is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. But what's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal, that everything is the nature of emptiness subsistence. So we can just quickly meditate. So thus far, we've got some idea about the emptiness of objective reality. Now we're going to go a little deeper today, this morning, and in the next one more, the proper class session, we will do this in more detail. So here is going to be guided. Ready? Okay. How does today we'll meditate the emptiness of yourself? Or let's say emptiness of the flower. A beautiful flower. Just imagine a very beautiful flower, and particularly if you can think of one real flower which you truly loved in the past or present. which flower. Just think of that. And tell me, how does it appear to you? Objective real, or like a dream as subjective real? Of course, it's objective real. So this belief that this flower exists objectively, this is known as self-grasping ignorance. How do you know that this ignorance is not a valid mind? Yes. If this is a valid mind, or to evaluate whether this belief that this flower, beautiful, which appears beautiful, is subjective or objective, whether or not this is self-grasping ignorance, remember what Adinigata taught. If the mirage were to be water, one knows those close by the mirage see water. Yesterday we learned about the mind, which analyzes the object very closely, and which perceives the object from distance. A mind which looks at things from the distance is known as rational analysis, and a mind which looks at things from nearby is known as alternative analysis. If the flower does exist objectively, then it must be identifiable as you go close to the object, as indicated by Adinigata. If the mirage were to be water, one not those close by the mirage see water. Okay, now this what technically what is known as subjecting the flower to ultimate analysis. Subject the flower to ultimate analysis. See where is this flower? Because you're interested in you see this flower so object real to see if it truly is a subject real. So we go closer. Go closer, technically known as subjecting the flower ultimate analysis. We first see like a crack, although the texture earlier seems so beautiful, color combination, so it's just so perfect. Now, under an electron microscope, as you go closer, subjecting for ultimate analysis, we see that by affection of the texture is illusion. We start to see the cracks and go to further fine tuning of the electron microscope. These cracks are the partitions of the cells. You go closer into the cell, then you see nucleus, the cytoplasm, cell membrane. You go into the nucleus, you see the chromosomes, and chromosomes is very repulsive to get, like a striped, brownish, string-like structure. As we further fine-tune this, you see the DNA molecules, and go further, we see the atoms. Okay, still you can go further. See the photon atoms. Now what are you saying? I'm just seeing pool of atoms. I'll come to close to the object, and where's the flower? The flower is nowhere to be seen. It's amazing. Objectively, the flower's not there. If at all something is there, is none other than atoms, and the atoms are not the flower. Besides the atoms, there's nothing there as the flower separate from the atoms. Yes. So now you discover that the flower's not from the object. It doesn't mean the flower's not there. The flower's not from the object, because to see whether or not the flower exists is not to be seen by the ultimate analysis. It must be seen by the conventional analysis. Whereas what you are looking for is, you are looking for the flower, you look for the objectively existing flower. And the objectively existing flower is all. Stay this experience for a while. Wow, that's amazing. For some people, you have a tinge of fear. For some people, there's an extremely profound serenity, tranquility at the core of your heart. And for some, the whole waves can flow through your body. For some, tickling sensations can happen. If any of these experiences come, you're very fortunate. If nothing of this happens, don't worry. Study more, contemplate more, and eventually you're bound to experience these things. That's amazing. That's amazing practice, but how does it help? What's the benefit of this practice? Yes, just as this flower dissolves in the experience emptiness, to discover that what he only saw as the flower so objectively beautiful is seen to be deceptive. Likewise, you subject all your sorrows, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, and so forth the same analysis, they will likewise dissolve. To your amazement, they will likewise dissolve. And all your sorrows are transcended. All your sorrows dissolve. All the mental disturbances dissolve. The mental disturbances dissolve, and the opposite of that dawns. That's the peace, absolute peace dawns. Stay in this experience for a while. Wow, this is amazing. Stay in this experience. Stay in this experience of emptiness. In this experience, where in this experience of emptiness, where the sorrows dissolve. This is exactly what Anandagata taught. Elaboration ceases into the wisdom of it, into the emptiness. This experience that we are going through now generates very strong desire, aspiration. May I forever remain in this experience of the emptiness, where all my sorrows are transcended. Stay in this experience for a while. This is what the Buddha indicated as all transcendent sorrows and absolute peace. And this aspiration is the ultimate understanding through realization. This means stay in this experience. Okay, now let's proceed to meditate on the Bodhichitta. Okay, take a few seconds and we move to Bodhichitta. Are you ready? So what is it about? The following vegetables. Today we'll do guided, and tomorrow let's see if you can do it on your own tomorrow. Ready? And this is a constant reminder which I gave you already since day 1 and day 2, that this practice of Bodhichitta, some of us may feel that this is just, it doesn't really work with my mind. My mind, it doesn't really resonate with my mind. What it says, what I'm supposed to be thinking is totally going opposite to what my mind thinks. So it was superficial. Yes, it is superficial. Because of this, we need training. We are doing training. We're doing practice. Imagine practicing music, keyboard, and initially, although despite you mimic your teacher, it doesn't resonate with your real movement of the fingers. But the end also, some noise comes, despite you are mimicking your teachers. And eventually, through constant practice, it becomes beautiful, it turns into beautiful music. So this exactly is the case with us. Each one of us with the nature. Okay, with this mind, already. Given that this universal compassion Bodhichitta has we never thought about it since time immemorial to today. And this is a very different journey, a journey which we have never undertaken before. As such, it requires incredibly great support, and the greatest support are the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Just invoke all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas in front of us. And they also, your mother, have very loving parents, how they leave behind whatever they have to do that day to join you in your performance. So it's exactly what all Buddhist Bodhisattvas are doing. They're so happy to watch what you're doing, witness what you're doing. And also let us invite your two parents, all of them themselves with children, all other demons, these people who are trapped in the wars, people who are trapped in domestic violence, underground, the tortures and so forth, just those people who create these problems, who are involved in creating problems, miseries of others, because they open new chapters of miseries of themselves. So let's include both, who are the victims as well as the culprits who actually accumulate negative karmas, for them to be endlessly many times victims in future lifetimes, severely to suffer in the future. So think of all these things with you. Okay, with this mind, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Of course, happiness primarily consists of the most beautiful mind of Bodhichitta and the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. The Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, witnessing that we make such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassion minds to send for nectar of those healing lights towards you and all their sentient beings. The mere touch of us and nectars with the body's yours instills in all happiness and the causes of happiness in the minds of sentient yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the domestic beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sign with relief. As immeasurable compassion, how good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consist of self-grasping ignorance and transcendent attitude, giving rise to the offshoots in form of inappropriate attention, afflictions, and contaminant karmas. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and causes of suffering. The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, like the mother after all this many years of raising children. And today, the eldest daughter is just age 12 and the eldest son is 11. 2 of them come to the mother, tell the mother, Mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. We know how much you love, how much you take care of us. We also love you. Now we are grown. We'll take care of our siblings. And just imagine how the mother could not contain the tears of joy. This is exactly what is happening with those Bodhisattvas. This pride and happiness the Bodhisattvas feel, invoke their compassion minds to the Sevenfold nectars, to soothing lights towards you, and to the sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body's yours washes away all the miseries and causes the miseries from the mind of sentient yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all of the sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, silently. Next immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and causes happiness that they doubt with. May all my dear sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes happiness that they doubt with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes happiness that they doubt with. The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness around you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion monstrous and the compassion monstrous Sevenfold nectars will sweeten us towards you, ultimate beings. The mere touch of lesser nectars with the box which you stabilizes the happiness, and the causes happiness that being set down. And you missing such a miraculous happening to all the demonstration beings, your intense happy, take 3 deep breaths, silently. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my demonstration beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to the sun and aversion to others. May all demonstration beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to the sun and aversion to others. Instead, abiding the great state of equanimity, embracing all other demonstrations, leaving them aside. I'll take the responsibility for all my demonstration beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to the sun and aversion to others. A Buddhist Bodhisattvas with the same virtue such a intense happiness of you. This part of happiness enjoying the question of to separate nectars of sweeten rice to achieve and ultimate peace. The mere touch of rice and nectars will possibility yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to the sun and aversion to others. And instead, make them abide in great state of equanimity, embracing all other demonstrations equally, leaving them aside. You have been listening to such a miraculous happening to all the demonstrated beings. Your intense happy, take 3 deep breaths silently. Underscore all the 4 vegetables is unconditional love to all the demonstrated beings. Abundance experience for the mind. And this is the foundation. This is the beautiful seed to awaken into to be manifested into the sapling of the Bodhichitta, the most beautiful mind of the Bodhichitta. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhichitta community 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and children. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and children. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and children. Slowly transform this most beautiful mind of Bodhichitta into spotlessly clean, the moon disk, horizontally sitting at the heart. It's amazing that we made such courageous commitment to the Buddha for the benefit of demonstrated beings. But imagine, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. Of the Buddha nation within me, of the potential of the Buddha within me. If this were the case, why? How come that it is not activated since time immemorial till today? Is this right? It's because that till date I'm being deceived by 2 demons. I'm deceived by 2 demons. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Self-grasping ignorance, which is the cognitive error, the cognitive distortion of the reality by the self-grasping ignorance. Self-centered attitude, which limits my mind, which narrows to my mind, which imprisons me in the prison of my own mind, one's own mind of this selfishness. This is the self-centered attitude. It stops me from flowing so freely to all the demonstration beings. I'm disillusioned by these 2 today. What am I going to do? I'm going to eradicate these 2. How will we do that? by introducing very, very powerful counter force, the most powerful counter force. What is that? The wisdom of emptiness. Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which you meditated as the third of the four seals. Just how does it go? Okay, think of this flower, flower. How does that appear to you? So objectively, nothing, not like a subjective, not like a dream. That belief that this flower existing is subjective real, this is ignorance. This is not self-grasping ignorance. And how do you know that this is ignorance? Remember what I taught. If the mirage would be water, or not supposed to be the mirage, see water. In a similar to in wisdom, if this flower would exist objectively, why don't this flower is a good object? Okay, now let's go to the object, which is technically known as subjective flower analysis. By doing so, you just end up seeing the cells, the chromosomes, DNA molecules, atoms. We're going to go further, but stay here. Okay, now what do you think? I'm just saying a pool of atoms. Tell me, where is this flower which you earlier saw, so objectively real from the object? Now I'm to come too close to it. What is that? There's no way to be seen. I'm now discovering that while the flower does exist, but the flower doesn't exist objectively. I discovered that it is empty from the object. It's empty from the object. Okay. Now just imagine that you shift your mind from the ultimate analysis to the conventional analysis. In other words, you come out of the meditation, or again the flower comes back. You go into the meditation, the flower disappears. You come back, again it appears. From the object is guaranteed that it's not there, but it still appears to mind, which is appearance mind, meaning the subject. It's purely appearance to the subject. This is known as subject real. Objectively is empty, for sure. So therefore it's like the illusion. So with this mind, just stay subject to our ultimate analysis, flies. No way to be seen from the object. Stay in this experience for a while. Slowly transform this mind of the most fearless mind. If you generate this, only fears will dissolve. The most fearless mind of the wisdom enters into a spotlessly clean, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the vertex of the heart. Okay, that's amazing. You have the moon, which is symbolic of the conventional Bodhichitta, to exterminate the self-centered attitude, and Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate Bodhichitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. This will get it to eradicate all the mental defilements, both afflicted and common obscurations. So the Buddha energy within us, within you, will be manifested fully for you to experience fearlessness and infinite happiness. Wow, that's amazing. But don't forget, your two parents are there suffering, your children are there suffering, all of family members are there suffering, and all the sentient beings are there suffering. Yes, it will generate very strong compassion towards them. And this compassion invokes the vegetable nature heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajra at the heart of the mother, one side of the Vajra at the heart of the father, one side of the Vajra at the heart of each one of your children, each one of the family members, each of the creatures, each of the beings, the human beings, animals, insects, animals, water bodies, spirits, here in Dharamshala, in India, in our own country, in the entire world, in the oceans, from the tiniest thought, amoeba, biggest of the blue whales, trillions of creatures, everybody got a share of the worship. Likewise in the wilderness, from the tiniest of the insects to the biggest of the elephants and so forth, and in the other world systems like dinosaurs and so forth, everyone got a share of the worship. It's amazing. Also, let us not forget that all Buddhist Bodhisattvas there watching us. Why don't we invite all Buddhist Bodhisattvas to witness and also the guests to undertake the ceremony of taking the expiation Bodhisattva vow? So as a gesture to take into the full-fledged practice, as a gesture making a request to all bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up to true frustrations, along with all demonstration beings, to all the bodhisattvas. Okay, let's stand up to true frustrations. Okay, now see if you can sit on your right knees, like the way I'm sitting. Sit on your right knees. On your right knee. And let's turn to page 50. Okay. The meanings we already given that we're doing the full-fledged Bodhisattva for practice today. So let me again remind each one of us of the meanings of these lines is so precious. By taking the maximum advantage through reflection on meanings, the benefit is going to be like 1,000-fold, be 1,000 times more, rather than our mind being distracted, just reciting words. So instead of that, there's going to be for that matter. So this journey is something which is the most precious thing in the mind. We see that even from the mundane, this life point of view, we see that anybody who practices very seriously, the whole day, you'll see that you're a very calm person. Agitation is much less. It's not that the agitation can't be there at all. And of course, it entirely depends on how serious your practice is and how long you practice with seriousness. But at least, relatively, in comparison, comparing you with the earlier self and now you with this practice, you see that you're way more calm and peaceful, and maybe the less agitated with this practice. So it's so precious. And then once you get a glimpse of emptiness, and you see that yes, you can see the nature very clearly. So with this, you see this practice is so precious for you to actually awaken the Buddha nature within you, to feel the total fearlessness and the infinite happiness. So with this mind, this journey is so important, but there's nothing more important than this journey. So you require incredible support, and the greatest support that I can think of is the tradition. So the first line says, I'll go for a tradition. The next journey involves the road, and if the road is blocked by the fallen trees, the boulders, the mud, and so forth, then you cannot continue the journey. So this road is none other than the own mind. This mind must be cleared of the mental defilements, anger, negative karma, and so forth. How to clear these from the mind is by most effectively by confessing the negativities. So second line says, I confess the negativities in which you feel. Now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't have fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. So this car is none other than the own mind. This mind must have the enough fuel of the virtues in the meditative condition. And the best way by which you do so is rejoicing in the virtues of all beings, including yourselves. Third one says, I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. Okay, now that you have a great support and the road is clear and your courage has been clear, what kind of journey I'm going to undertake? And it's the awakening of your Buddha nature, awakening of the hitting touch with you. So the third line says, I follow through the rest of the Buddha. Wholeheartedly, let's just say it 3 times together. I go for refuge to the tribal jet. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of the beings. I hold the precious Buddha within. I go for refuge to the tribal jet. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of the beings. I hold the precious Buddha within. I go for refuge to the tribal jet. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of the beings. I hold the precious Buddha within. The next 2 verses, invoking, beginning with invocation of the Buddha's Bodhisattvas to be here to you. And the first verse is about, in the history of humanity, is there anyone who succeeded in this journey? Yes, it was Prince Siddhartha who succeeded 2,500 years ago. How did he succeed? It is through him introducing 2 important factors. And the first factor is the motivation, powerful motivation, Bodhichitta. He made very strong motivation to become Buddha for the sentient beings and to awaken his nature for the sentient beings. And the second factor, to materialize this aspiration, engaged in the Buddhist practices of 6 perfection, 4 perfections being 10 perfections, and so forth. It is how he succeeded in this journey. I'll also follow his footsteps, yes, by creating these 2 factors, generate a strong desire to become Buddha for the sentient beings, and to engage in those practices. Okay, with this in mind, during the 3rd repetition of the last line recitation, just imagine that you have received that spirit Bodhichitta. Together. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be with you. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of Bodhichitta, and just as they successfully learned the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of Bodhichitta, and likewise shall I 2 successful learning Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave with me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the amount of Bodhichitta, and just as they successfully learned the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of Bodhichitta. Now, likewise, shall I 2 successful learning Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave with me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the amount of Bodhichitta, and just as they successfully learned the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of Bodhichitta. Now, likewise, shall I 2 successful learning Buddhist practices. So we just feel the joy of the heavenly celestial spirits found, and imagine that your true parents, your mother, of all these many years, you received complaint from your school principal saying that your little daughter, little son, both are so mischievous, and you were so tired to listen to it. Today, again, school principal comes with the escorted by other teachers, and again, mother is very apprehensive. What kind of complaints? So the school principal says, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? Your daughter, your son, told them they won this best of the students of this year of the school. And could you believe our eyes and ears, after all these many years of these complaints, this is exactly what has happened to all the principal's office. All these innumerable lifetimes, the only wish that we shun the negative actions, negative comments, negative thoughts, and therefore we don't actually be free from suffering. On the contrary, we just chase the possible miseries and we continue to suffer endlessly. And since coming to today, the only wish that we embrace the virtues so that you can have the abundance of happiness. On the contrary, we run away from the positivity, we run away from the virtues, and therefore we constantly remain deprived of happiness. And today what you get is something unimaginably great thing, which they never thought that you would do one day, and you did it today. You made them so happy, so proud of you, like the mother. So this happiness and joy that all of those success feel, invoke the version at their hearts in a full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. A rain shower, all these innumerable infinite versions, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize in your heart, thereby becoming more whole, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the innumerable wisdom from Buddhist Bodhisattvas like wind child, they descend to merge with the plant, merge with the body, that visualize their parents, their healthy children, and our healthy family members, and all the sentient human beings, animals, insects, herbivores, God, spirits here in Dharamshala in India, in our own country, in the entire world, in the entire, all the oceans, the wilderness, in the entire Milky Galaxy, and in the entire universe, with all the beings. Now, the worship that you share with them, they're blessed by all the worshipments from those persons. They're able to non-dual, stabilized, blessed. It's amazing. It's truly amazing to be celebrated. That the best way by which to reveal counsel, parents, and all sentient including children is this practice. And today we did it. And the Buddha declared, one moment of the practice of compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems, diamonds, gold, silver, and so forth, offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were the case, what I mentioned for our heaven team, that's today. So today we have to offer the greatest offerings, the greatest offerings to all those Bodhisattvas. Amazing. And your life, there's nothing greater than this, and you've given such meaning. It's the greatest meaning that you can think of to be given to you, to yourself. And we ask, right from the day one, we ask, what's the purpose of life? This is purpose of life. This is the greatest purpose of life. And today we have the extracted this purpose, given this the purpose that we're getting to. It's amazing. All these three wonders, all those blessings, the kindness, the blessings of all those blessings. As you just making that, that is again standard to make three prostrations, along with all the messaging to all those blessings. Okay, please take your seats. Next page, page 51. So this practice is precious, so meaningful. And what about next lives? Whether we'll meet with this practice, yes, we have to put effort in two ways. One, that we meet with this kind of practice and teachings in future lives. And then number two, upon meeting, then we seriously engage in this, not wasting our time. And instead go on the journey of cleansing the mind to awaken your hidden treasure as soon as possible. So for that, one is to meet with Dharma. Then number two, to find joy in this practice. So deliberately creating this to the practice in this life. So as a part of the first one, let's recite this first with together. See the screen sharing. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. In order to further increase this Bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who closely sees an awakened mind of Bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today, my life has borne fruit, and we will obtain this human existence I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied ways. Just like a blind man discovering jewel in Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence and awakening my husband born with me. Is the supreme rejoice yet that overcomes the soul of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that cures the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings wandering tied on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing perceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the children of the Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of their happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, and while the world to be guests at a festival of temporary mountain delight, may gods, demigods, all be joyful. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to upholding the doctrine of scripture and insight. May all lives through the Buddha's merit, never separate from the fullness of the mind vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly on the 2 stages. From our reflections past the space that will last, from working with after this practice for a great number of time, may I become the chief living Buddha for all those whose masters and wise planted awakenings. Okay, let's go to second phrase. Shangye Gyabo Chase Ode Ode Mahamona Yeswa Om Bode Bode Mahamona Yeswa Om Bode Bode Mahamona Yeswa Om Bode Bode Mahāyāna Swaha Om Mone Mone Mahāyāna Swaha Om Mone Mone Mahāyāna